Yeah. Raj, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Thank you all waiting for all this happening. So I'm here to introduce Dr. Pradeep. So basically, I would say Pradeep is known to me almost for 15 years, and he was introduced by our farmer Muthu. So Muthu used to live in a factory land. That's how we came to know Pradeep. So Mauritius University, and we came for the tour. That's when we Pradeep. And since then, Pradeep has been a very big inspiration in our lifestyle, especially when it comes to food, and also what are the pungent to us. So a lot of things I can take 1 hour just to talk about Pradeep, but I don't want to take his time because we have very less time today. So what I would say is, this occasion, you think that you're going for a long trip. So just before the trip, is your tires okay? The oil changes done. Your transmission flush is done. Just making sure your vehicle is on the same way in your life's journey. Our body is the vehicle, and even including the mind. So this session is going to be like that stopover where you went to the mechanic shop and do all those things before you go for a long change, right? So please take this session as a life session, and I'm very eager to learn more from today's session. And Dr. Pradeep has been very inspirational, not just here in US, but also across the globe. He gives talks in Europe, India, South Asia, all these places. He has got a very big lot of followers, especially in academic world and also in research field. So he's a founder and also the CEO of Amma Genomics. From the name, don't think that there's a political background. It's not. He will tell you the real reason what Amma is in this session. He has come to US for a personal trip, but he also wanted to, we thought once he's here, we'll do a tour. So he's going to different places. And luckily, we got to in St. Louis, and Thompson was awesome. Within a week, they could, pull things out. They got the venue and were able to send communications, all those things. So thank you. And so we are very blessed. So especially talking in the time, not good to be here. To access to vital information about our body, all those things is also able to come out. So glad that we are all here, and we are trying to reduce question answers in for just 5 to 10 minutes at the end because it's really going to encompass the session. So whatever Pradeep is going to share, please observe that. And there are a lot of variations in our awareness in health, so it's very hard to gather everyone in the same way. So observe that, and he's also planning to do a lot of WhatsApp and groups and affiliations with all the things he's going to do, so we can be part of the journey. So it's not just today we will have the final words. Now it can continue. So be optimistic about that. So Pradeep is also accompanied by his wife, Priya. She's Pradeep used to say, I will steal your thunder a little bit. Pradeep used to say, my approach is all ideal approach, scientific approach, go by numbers. Whereas Priya's approach is very pragmatic. What works, what doesn't work in your practical life, she focuses on that. So they both, yin and yang, keep things in balance. So we are glad to have her also here. Thank you. And without further ado, we are ready. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Pradeep.
Welcome. Welcome. Thanks to Pandya, Raj, and Jyoti for hosting at home and for this platform. Yesterday we had a session, like a part one session. Most of them will be not repetitive, from again from a different angle. I'm understanding that after COVID there is a huge challenge in health, but at the same time there is more awareness of how to take care of our body. I was very glad that I'm able to speak today in Missouri Commerce Sangam. Again, I thank the founders and the organizers because the Sangam, Tamil Sangam is a way generation is a cultural tradition. So I remember I and Priya, when we had our son growing up, born and brought up here, many people asked, can you share how to do parenting, how to take care of health? And so we started a program in 2010, CCC, connecting children to culture. Later on, parents also asked, we also need a program. So we then started CAC, connecting adults to culture. Then back in India and other places, corporates also wanted their employees to be healthy. So then we also made COC, connecting corporations to culture. So culture, why do we need? I'm sure you are all aware why this Tamil Changam was formed. It is because we want to do something valuable for to be passed on to the next generation. So one of the COC, CAC, even I asked Muthu to talk one session for children in February, and he beautifully brought the analogy like milk. So milk, if kept like that, it will definitely get spoiled. Some bacteria will grow in it, and the milk will be spoiled. But what we do is we intentionally spoil it in a good way by adding a culture. Tamil Korai சொல்றோம். That is nothing but bacteria, full of bacteria, and you intentionally add to the milk. So instead of milk being grown by, some bacteria, unknown bad bacteria growing, you are intentionally putting some good bacteria. The same thing is culture. Our mind will take some thoughts from the parents or family or the society, and that thoughts will mold us. But culture or tradition, like Tamil Changam, why it was formed is because we want to culture good thoughts in the younger generation. So that is at the 5 levels, because we have our 5 core of our being. So next slide. So we all have, I use the Indian tradition of Panchabhutas, 5 elements. So this represents the body, this mind, intelligence. So we know all the 3 we have, right? Everybody is aware of we have a body, we have a mind, we have intelligence. But what we don't is 2 other things. We have a self-awareness also, and we have a consciousness also. These 5 are there. So all this knowledge we want to give it to the next generation. So again, I said about cultural knowledge to protect the mind from unwanted thoughts. We want to streamline, though we are bringing the children are born here, but we want the certain aspects of our generation, our cultural tradition to be seeded in the minds of the younger generation. So that is why we do that. Why? Because if we avoid unwanted thoughts, unwanted behavior can be avoided, and that will bring a peaceful mind and a peaceful life. Next slide. So the next is about discriminating knowledge, intelligence. We all want to know how do we discriminate what to do and what not to do. What is right decision and what is wrong decision. Of course, in life we learn it, but it will be great if we use of our ancestral, traditional, discriminating knowledge. These are also the several classes and sessions we do. The next slide. And about the strength and talents of our own self. So instead of parents or friends influencing us and making us realize our talents, we ourselves have to know what our strength and weakness and how we can develop into a great personality. So then next is the social consciousness. But finally, this is the fifth element. Finally, like the commission, the whole thing is formed because social impact with good actions. How can we make our society better? I'm sure most of the children who are going to college, they have to write here, especially in US, why you want to do a particular course and how your course or admitting into a particular college or into a university, how are you going to contribute to the society? So that's the greatest contribution or what we can do for our life is the fifth element. But now today, as Pandem and others have requested, I'm only focusing on this one aspect, how our traditional knowledge can help us to make our body healthy. Because in Tamil proverb, Suvar irundaldan Sitram varayamudu. If there is only a nice canvas, we can have a beautiful painting. Only if we have a healthy body, we can have a healthy mind, a healthy intelligence, and self-awareness and whatever we want to put for ourselves and others, we can do only with a healthy body. So I'm sure everybody is taking care of their lawn, and we always like to have a good lawn. And to have a good lawn, initially it will be there will be a lot of weeds. So what we do is we need good seeds. Again, culture. We want a particular plant to be grown in our lawn, grass. So we need seeds. So the seeds are used to bring us a culture in the lawn. And then before doing that, just putting grass will not be enough. You have to weed removal has to be done. You have to use many tools to remove all the weeds. Then the third thing is the perfect soil, which can give all the nutrients. Now you'll be wondering, am I talking about how to make a good lawn? Oh no, it is actually the same analogy for our body also. You will see that three things are needed: the cleaning, and the next is the seeds and the soil. Now, after the next slide. So, after the COVID time, yesterday was talking about there was a lot of questions people have. Why some people are affected by COVID infection? Why do somebody in the same family, one is not affected, one is affected, one has serious side effects after COVID also, after having immunization also? But now the answer is that more research from 2020 has given us the secret lies in our gut. So gut is a large intestine. So it has good and bad bacteria. Like looking at our lawn, you will see grass and other weeds growing. So the more the desired grass is there, then we say it is a beautiful lawn. Same way, in our gut, there are a lot of good bacteria and bad bacteria. So what defines health? Now people think about immunity means taking a lot of vitamin supplements, taking tonics, and that will give immunity, but really it is not so. Now more science is coming up to the point. Immunity means if we have good bacteria more in our number in our gut, we have strong immunity. If the bad bacteria is low, we have weak immunity. So now basically the whole, I have condensed almost all the world's research into one slide here. They are saying that gut is not just to absorb nutrients, it is the home for the whole control of our genetic system and the health. So now they have come up with the point that anything to do with behavior is also connected to our gut. So it is a brain gut axis. So you can see that everything, if it is kidney, now they're talking about gut and kidney axis. If it is something to do with infertility issues, gynecological issues, again, gut and the reproductive organs. Same with skin. So allergies and dermatological problems, everything now they understand that it is because of the gut and the skin axis. So, I mean, 2 years back, a lady from US, she called and said that her child has allergies, and the child is fond of seafood, but now suddenly became allergic, and she don't know why. So then she said, "I'm visiting India." So she came to our lab, took the stool test. So stool is where we are passing all the gut bacteria along with the undigested or waste food. So testing the stool, we can know what is actually growing in our gut. So we tested and the child had more bad bacteria than the good. So then after testing, we told these are the bad bacteria. Now we have to improve the good bacteria. After that, she was amazed and she gave a beautiful testimony in our website that after that, the child was able to hand all seafoods, whatever lactose intolerance he had, everything went off and the child was normal. But in US, we have been taking the child for several skin tests. You know, they will do the skin prick test, and she was really upset because ultimately the skin test showed that the child will be allergic to all nuts, almonds, cashews, and tur dal, moong dal. And finally, she said, "I cannot. There is no choice for the child. There is nothing for the child to eat." But now everything is solved. What we did was exactly what you say, that the skin and gut allergy, the access. Same with the rheumatoid arthritis. People are taking vitamins and calcium supplements to overcome arthritis, but now they say everything is controlled by the gut bacteria. Same with diabetes. Obesity, I will show you some pictures how obesity is connected to the gut axis, because we eat the same food, but somebody is obese in our family, somebody is normal and lean. So the same with lung and the psychiatric autism also. So autism is strongly influenced by the gut bacteria. When we were young, I mean, I have heard this in Ayurveda or in novels. I used to read a lot of Malayalam and Tamil novels. And in few novels, they have mentioned that when somebody has some bad sexual, I mean, over behavior, misbehavior, they will say, "Poi kadka saapdu." In Malayalam, they say, "Kadka vala kodukka," meaning kadka, you know. It's a herb, one of the ingredients of Triphala. So now I understand that Kadka has a strong influence on gut. So even behavior can be changed by the gut bacterial change. But at that time I did not understand it was gut bacteria influence. And now lot of research has shown that in US, depression, suicidal thoughts, autism, attention deficiency disorder in children, everything is connected to gut. So they say that actually gut is the second brain or real extension of our brain. Next slide. So it is the biggest organ, almost 2 kgs of, you have to understand, almost 4 pounds of bacteria is in our gut, and that's what is controlling us. So this term is now becoming very prominent, dysbiosis. So normally we have, in a normal healthy person, there will be a lot of good bacteria. Again, you can always think of the lawn. Somebody's lawn is beautiful, meaning 99% they are having grass there. But in dysbiosis state, more bad bacteria, or to talk about community. So if you have a neighborhood with a lot of good guys, then you say it's a safe neighborhood. But if the neighborhood has a lot of drug dealers and alcoholics, and then you say it is a bad neighborhood. So the same way, dysbiosis represents more bad bacteria and fungi and everything. So now what causes dysbiosis? So one is dietary choices. They strongly say that you can openly see in research they're showing that please do not follow Western diet. So Western countries, Western researchers, scientists, they are telling Western diet is bad for health because it's bad for it causes dysbiosis. So they're saying that don't eat potato chips. I'm sorry, all the children will be upset. Why did you bring to this session? Because now you will be telling them not to eat potato chips, don't eat fried items, junk food, and Coke and other soft drinks. So these poor diet choices, you are feeding the bad bacteria. I'll go into details of what happens, what type of food will allow the growth of good bacteria and bad bacteria, but already it is shown that poor dietary cells and sedentary behavior. Of course, metabolic disorders like diabetes and many diseases like cancer is on increase because of sedentary lifestyles. We are left from an agricultural occupation to more sedentary, and including my wife, every woman will be upset when I say no more having any exercise for the body like the old our mothers and grandmas used to do with ammi when they grind the for chutney. It not only will be tasty, they are getting exercise for their hands. The same thing, pounding, everything. They were having more physical activity. Now it is all a button touch on mixie, and now we have Siri to even operate our mixies and grinders. So what happens is no exercise. So that sedentary habits also increases bad bacteria. Third is inadequate sleep and late night sleep. So till my, from my college days, school days onwards, I used to go to bed by 8:30. And even in my college and in my university, most of my seniors would wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning and come by 11, 12 in the lab. I would be there by 4 o'clock in the early morning. Nobody would have woken up, but I had that habit and it was less stressful and I had very good health. But now, going back to India for 4 or 5 years, I have stressed a lot because sleep became at 1 o'clock sleeping because of diagnostic lab. We started, a lot of patients came. So I see that in my own self, there is a huge shift in the sleep pattern and it is affecting the health also. So now there are more research showing that if you sleep late or having less sleep, then it causes dysbiosis. Then stress, of course. So stress is a major contributing factor. I have several children in India, even girls, they're at 10th standard, 12th standard, they're complaining about irregular menstruation. And not only irregular menstruation, they have other gynecological issues. Even in school days itself, it starts. And boys also, and dental issues. All this come from stress. Adults, definitely job stress, emotional stress in family, and everything is contributing to the gut dysbiosis. So it's not just one factor, food alone, but it is also lifestyle. So next is not keeping our gut clean. So again, as I mentioned about lawn, you cannot just one time plant and make the lawn beautiful. Once in a while, you have to make sure you are cleaning off the weeds. Otherwise, weeds will outgrow. So all this was a traditional practice. So if you look at Indian culture, all these were avoided, and so we had better health in those days. So what happens when you eat foods that are not good for bodies? We tend to increase our oxidative stress. Even doing nothing itself, our body ages like a cut apple because it is exposed to oxygen, it will be oxidative damage. I'm sure you've all been noticed that when you cut an apple and keep, it will immediately turn brown in color because of rusting, meaning oxidation. But the moms and the who are all modern to keep the salad not in brown color, what will you apply? You will cut a lemon and apply the lemon juice. And if you apply lemon juice on cut apple, it will not brown. Why? Because the vitamin C or antioxidants in the lemon will inhibit the browning oxidative reaction on our apple. The same way, we are all cut open apple. We are continuously breathing oxygen. This oxygen will cause damage. So we will naturally age. So prevent that aging is what vitamin C is very important. So Avaya, Nellikadi, she gave to the king Adiyaman, right? And she said, I want you to live longer. I want you to slow down aging. So that's why she gave Amla. And Amla is a very natural anti-aging thing. And also lemon. If you see in Indian temples, in all the temples, the Kaval Devam, whether it is Adagar Swami or the gods that are having sword and all, they will have the lemon on top of them. Because lemon is a symbol of protection. So sword, like they'll keep the sword, on top of that they will keep a lemon to express that symbolism, like how sword will protect us the same way lemon will protect our body, the vitamin C. So when we eat, what happens is we have to eat more antioxidant foods so that we can reverse aging, and the aging diseases also can be postponed. So earlier, diabetes and cancer were occurring in very old people who lived more than 80, 85, 90. Now I am shocked in Chennai lab, we have type 1 diabetes patients who are just 3-year-old, not even they have gone to kindergarten. 3-year-old children, several of them are coming in our Chennai lab, diagnosed with diabetes. Cancer, yesterday I was saying, 6 months baby. The baby hasn't even crawled. From that age, they are having cancer. So all that has to come late if we are bringing it early because of our bad food and lifestyle. So high polyphenol, which I will explain, and also low MDA, meaning toxic chemicals, has to be avoided. So then what happens is when there is oxidation, then there is inflammation. I'm sure all of you are aware of inflammation. And this is one picture from a medical textbook. All the medical doctors who are studying medicine, they will know this picture because inflammation is the root cause for all the disease. So inflammation is oxidative damage causes inflammation, and inflammation in each organ, if it causes more damage, then that organ will have a disease. So disease of, let's say, fatty liver means there is more oxidative damage in the liver. If somebody is having a kidney failure, means more oxidative damage in the kidney. If somebody is having a heart failure, more oxidative damage in the heart. So all these are one term, meaning one cause for all the diseases. Now let's see how to prevent this. So cleaning is one thing, seeding probiotics and soiling prebiotics, which are nothing but polyphenol rich food. I'll explain what these terms are and you will easily remember. So first is cleaning. Like I was saying, if you want to have even a good lawn, you should have cleaning tools. You might have bought the best car, Tesla or anything, but just filling the gas won't be enough, right? Every 3 months they will say you have to do oil changing, plug cleaning, carburetor cleaning. All this cleaning has to be done. Just you cannot drive a car or anything without cleaning. So cleaning is very important. But are we cleaning our inner body? We are every day taking bath. We want to be hygienic. We immediately clean our hands. But are we keeping that hygiene inside? We wanted to prevent bad bacteria or microbes on our hands. We wash them. But are we doing such cleaning inside? Are we cleaning our gut? No. So without cleaning is what the major factor comes. So what can we do? So traditionally, we are asked to drink as soon as we wake up, brush our teeth and drink water. So I do 1.5 liters, and all the details I'll show the website where you can get more details because we don't have enough time here. So then next is castor oil cleansing. I'm sure if you have been brought up in villages in India, they would have definitely given you castor oil even when as a baby. They had the chung, meaning a small, metal a cup-like thing, and through that they will mix breast milk with castor oil. And people think that it is harmful. And if you, I don't have a slide now, but I show to many people, you just Google what is the market value for castor oil. So, you know, market value is what is the value in the global. You will think it will be some few $1,000s. I see that it is more than 4 to 10 billion US dollars. So where is this castor oil being used? It is used in many pharmaceutical and cosmetic industry. But if you read the ingredients, you will not find the word castor oil. They have changed the name to cremophore-like substances. So castor oil is a very, very healthy compound, and in traditional India, we have been using that to clean our gut. Even I have, we do the castor oil cleansing, and in the lab I have made a test to see
how effective it is. And the whole lab was astonished to see that the castor oil was selectively cleaning out the bad bacteria and retaining good ones. So that's an amazing thing. Not like antibiotic. If you give antibiotic, it will kill both the good and the bad ones. But look at castor oil. It is only disturbing the bad ones, but keeping the good ones. So much effective is castor oil. I do sessions just on castor oil alone for the whole day. That much of information we can talk on castor oil. Second is fiber-rich food. Many of the fibers that are soluble and insoluble fibers, some of the fibers also tend to clean the gut. I remember I grew up in Coimbatore, though I was from Kerala, but I grew up from very small age in Coimbatore, and my mom will force us to eat banana stem, vadathandu, poriyal kootannam. And like every children, we were hesitant to eat. So what she will do is she will put a stick and rotate in center of this vadathandu. So all the fibers will get surrounded on the stick. And she used to give a practical science demo like thing. She used to say like this, all the bad things in your intestine will be removed by this banana stem. So doing and showing that, we used to eat that. And now we know banana stem is an excellent gut cleanser because it has these insoluble or resistant to digest the plant compounds in there, so it can clean out the gut. Next is herbs. So the Siddhas in Siddha medicine, they have beautifully formulated two things. One is Trigadugam and another is Triphala. So Triphala is made up of Tanika, then the Kadukai and Amla, Nellika. The Trigadu is meaning, in Tamil there is a beautiful book like Tirukural, Tirukadugam. So the author has written like Tirukural, Tirukadugam, saying that like Tirukadugam is for body, making you healthy, and Tirukadugam, the nool, is for keeping your mind healthy. Now, what is this Tirukadugam? Three components is black pepper, long pepper, and chukku. So there is again a Tamil proverb: Chukkai pol marundum illai, Subramanianai pol kadavalum illai. Meaning every dish in India we will use ginger, dried. And we all now came here. Somebody accidentally came to this country, right? Columbus came here. Why did he come here? He came in search of this black pepper. The Trigadugam, the component, one of the component is the black pepper and the long pepper. So they came all the way from Europe. Aristocrats only can afford to eat black pepper. So all the way they came to India. They came to Kerala and in near Pondicherry also in search of India for this black diamond. And when they came, only the aristocrats could afford the black pepper, and all the working people were importing from South America red chilies and green chilies. So poor man's spice was the red chilies and green chilies. So they came and we thought that that is more better, it is cheaper, and look at our stupidity. We gave the best to the Western and European countries, and we started using from 15th century onwards the green chilies and red chilies. But traditionally India, we were using Tirukadugam, these three, Chukku, Tippalli and Kurumulagam. These three are really helpful. And now if you look into scientific journals, they say these three are high in antioxidants, high in anti-inflammatory, the best anti-cancer, the best antivirus, the best antifungal, the best antibacteria, all that anti-reversal, anti-aging. All this now they are saying that. And you know about Mediterranean diet is also healthy, right? So if you go to an Italian restaurant, do they use green chilies or red chilies? No. What do they use? Black pepper, right? So again, that pepper is one of the most important component. So this is good for cleaning. So all this information, if you remember my website, writeawareness.com. Then you can get all this information. So if you just type in water.writeawareness.com, you can get all the information on water. Castor.writeawareness, all information on castor. So forth on food also. So I think I just speed up. What is the time now? 5:15, so I'll speed up now. So now the next is probiotics. So whether you're a North Indian or South Indian, you would definitely end your lunch with yogurt. In North India they call dahi, and in South India more. Everybody would end up their lunch with the probiotics. And I remember after castor oil cleansing, look at the wisdom of our ancients. They after castor oil cleansing, they will give only buttermilk or buttermilk mixed with rice and ghee. Why? Because like lawn, you are de-weeding all the bad ones and putting the seeds of lactobacillus, good probiotics. So that is the ancient wisdom, and every day you are taking probiotics. So that is why the probiotics are the seeds. But just now I'm just naming a few of the very good probiotics. So lactobacillus, bifidobacteria, Akkermansia muciniphila, and Saccharomyces. This Akkermansia muciniphila is actually from the word muse. It is like kapha. It will protect all our intestine. These are the really security guards of our intestine. Now, what happens is, if this Akkermansia is low due to our bad food style and lifestyle, then like we are having a house or a country without security guard or protection. Immediately what we see is leaky gut. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the word leaky gut. So if the intestines are having more bad bacteria, they will intestine, and from the intestine, bad bacteria will leak into our blood. Then the blood becomes impure, and that is where now inflammation shoots up. So when you try to treat a skin disorder, or commonly people say, I get my children are often getting cold and fever, all this because of leaky gut. Because our immune system breaks down, and these bacteria and food particles, undigested or properly not digested food, will enter into the bloodstream. So all this is prevented by having good probiotics. So other examples are fermented. Now I'm sure people are familiar with Palaya Sadham. I have interviewed so many people many years back while I was doing my PhD. All North Indians or South Indians or Eastern India or Western India, they all have the habit of soaking the cooked rice in a pot in the previous day night, and next day morning they would eat. And the next day morning they eat with onions, chinna vengayam, small or pearl onions. I was wondering why they have to eat with pearl onions, and I am surprised now. Polyphenols are being now sold as a lot of supplements, and one of the supplements is quercetin, and they show that quercetin is a polyphenol produced by plants which will protect our pancreas. And if pancreas are protected, what disease can you prevent? Diabetes. Now I searched, even you can do quercetin rich food. You know what will appear top? Small onions. Small onions are the richest source of quercetin in the food. Now look at how beautifully, what is the peak of their intelligence, that for the high carbohydrate diet in the morning, which is rice, you are eating with quercetin, which is present in small onions. So every food combination had that medical wisdom in the tradition. So now, and again in Tamil, in Coimbatore, because I grew in Coimbatore, my friend was also telling my wife, in Coimbatore, if the guest comes, if they cut big onions, the mother-in-law will shout at the daughter-in-law. You have become lazy, you are cooking the big onions for the guest. You should always use small onions. So that is the traditional knowledge, because again we in our lab they checked for quercetin levels in the small onions and the big onions. Small onions have high level of quercetin. So my dad is now 83. He has no diabetes. And I tell him, your health is because of my mom, your wife. Because when I was in school days, I used to get angry only one time in the evening with my mom. Because when we start to do homework, which actually I don't like, I pretend to be very studious, and I make a lame excuse. She will be in the kitchen peeling the small onion, and tears will come in our eyes in the front porch. So that much powerful was. Now if you even squeeze the small onion in your eyes, you won't get tears because the quality has gone down. So every day I know my mom and many women will, evening their hobby is not to watch TV serials but peel the small onions, and that made the family very healthy. So again, Panchagavya and buttermilk, I will share later the information. So next is the soil. So I give you good grass seeds, but you don't have a soil, potting soil, or I give you beautiful flowering seeds, and you say, I don't get any flowers. Well, I say you're not having a good potting soil, or you don't have a soil for sprouting the seeds. The same way, people are now asking me, sir, which is a good probiotic supplement I take. The same thing happens to several of our patients who come to our lab. They say we have been buying from big online stores, probiotic pills, lactobacillus, and they don't see any health improvement. And then when they give the gut sample to test, we report 0% lactobacillus, and they're surprised. They're saying then we are taking supplements and you are showing a report 0. And we say that we have been growing these bacteria and none of them are active. Second thing is you are not giving the soil. The soil is the prebiotics. So now let's see what is prebiotics. So as I showed, you need three things. The prebiotics, probiotics are the seed, and the prebiotics are the soil to grow the probiotics. So simply popping up supplementary pills is not going to help you because you need prebiotics in a diet. Next slide. So the prebiotics are all these polyphenol compounds present in all plants. So all the plants will have polyphenols. These are medicinally rich. As I mentioned, polyphenols have so many functions. So the protection, like if you people having varicose veins, we have treated so many people with varicose veins. The problem is they look into the internet and there are so many stories. Oh, because you're standing for a long time, you're getting varicose veins and all. But when we check their blood, we see that rutin like polyphenols are very low. The rutin is very high in Narthanga. In Tamil, Narthanga is big lemon. And in Kerala, we call it as Ganapati Naranga, meaning like Ganesha, big and huge lemons. And their peels are very rich in rutin. So when we tell people your blood level is having low polyphenol, so they do all the regular lab tests. Everything is normal. But they are not getting cured from varicose veins. So when they start to eat more rich of this Narthanga, then their varicose veins go. So again, this is a tradition. If you look at now all these chefs and YouTube videos, channels, they make every pickle, carrot pickle, beetroot pickle, and every pickle. But the real pickle was to take every day the skin of the big lemon, which is Narthanga. So that these are several instances where we can know that our health deteriorated because we have forgotten our tradition. So now what are the other prebiotics food? Anything unrefined is having the prebiotics. So the polyphenol is another name given for the medicinally active components. Like curcumin is a polyphenol. It is present in turmeric. So turmeric has a polyphenol. There are several polyphenols. Only one polyphenol is curcumin. Again, what people do is they take only the supplement of curcumin and they are not getting good benefits because your body needs all the type of polyphenols, not just one polyphenol. So that is why going after supplements is not really going to help, but somebody is getting benefited. Who? The pharmaceutical companies were selling. If you look into the Google, they are projecting that more than 200 billion profits will come to pharmaceutical companies who are selling vitamin supplements, mineral supplements. Now probiotics, prebiotics are also coming up. And most disgusting is yesterday I was talking about fecal pills is also coming into the market. I'll come to that later. So what are the good things? So three things are very important. The prebiotics, that is polyphenol-rich foods, probiotics, which are the good ones in the gut bacteria, and in the gut, the ratio of good and bad bacteria, virus, and fungi. So you're all scared about COVID virus, but you do not know millions of viruses are in your body, in your gut. So we do all these testing. We check for gut bacteria, gut fungi, gut virus, gut parasites, and we see that there also the ratio should be good. There are good viruses which keep our body healthy. So don't think virus means is all bad. So next slide. So again from Harvard University, they published recently to boost cancer immunotherapy's fighting power. Look at the gut. So now this is a huge change. So whether it is diabetes, you're having cholesterol problems or uric acid problem, not only old age, now young children to teenage also get all these diseases, and also cancer. They are saying that just chemotherapy and radiation will not help. Yesterday also I talked in detail that there are cancer cells and cancer stem cells. Cancer cells will be killed by chemotherapy and radiation, but if you don't kill the cancer stem cell, it will again come back. So that is a disappointing and frustrating news for cancer patients. But Harvard, like universities, are showing the truth that, hey, just don't do chemo and radiation alone. Look at your gut. And that is what traditional Indian knowledge is about. Any disease you have, they always use the word pathyam. I don't know how many of you remember. So even if you take an Ayurvedic or a Siddha medicine, you have to follow pathyam, meaning what foods to take and what foods to avoid. And that is actually based on this gut microbiome. So in you're treating a disease, you should be growing good bacteria and suppressing the bad bacteria. And that's what now Harvard, this was like 2 months back, they published that if the immunotherapy, targeted immunotherapy has to be effective, then the gut microbiome should be in good biosis, not dysbiosis. So next slide. So this is from British Journal of Cancer. They clearly mention if a doctor is treating cancer patient, he's an oncologist, he should be really be knowing about gut microbiome. So this is that article, and we'll show how our ancient tradition exactly fits to this new model that they're coming up. Next slide. So look at, now they're saying therapeutic strategies to modulate the gut microbiome. So what our ancients did every day, probiotics, every day, prebiotics, fecal transplantation, I'll come later. Then look at dietary inventions. They are not talking about vitamins or anything. They're talking about polyphenols, dietary fiber, fermented foods. So this is the secret for curing cancer. We, like the Tamil movie Vade Mayam and all, where the hero dies of cancer, is because they did not know about, the writer did not know about gut microbiome. But there was a movie by M.T. Vasudevan Nair in Malayalam, and there the hero gets cancer and he wants to get cured. So he went for chemo radiation and everything failed. Then he goes to a guru, to an ashram, and he gives all this treatment. And the story plot is then the heroine is upset because she thought he will die, but he has come completely cured. So the hero is Mammootty in that. So all this is because the gut microbiome is a major factor which we are all ignoring. And now these major institutes are saying that is a way to cure cancer. So don't be scared of cancer. Tell if any of your unlucky family members or friends are having cancer, hey, look at what Harvard is telling, look at your gut microbiome, follow our tradition, we will be curing cancer really. So again, this is yesterday I showed now the targeted immunotherapy, those pharmaceutical companies have published this data. They clearly show that why some people who are undergoing cancer therapy, they have more side effects, they die out of toxicity. Not because of cancer even, but some of them survive. What is the secret? They found that it is the double-edged sword. It is the gut bacteria that makes us your destiny. It can completely make you live or die. So they're saying that if gut bacteria is good, the immunoresponse is very good and there is cure of the disease. But if the gut bacteria is more, they promote toxicity more. Already the chemotherapy and all these agents are toxic. On top of that, this bad bacteria also adds the toxicity and the patient has more side effects. So you can understand it is only by modulating the gut we can change because fate and destiny, vidhi, we cannot change. So genetics, if there is a human, if there is a DNA damage, most of these hospitals, most of the labs, what they are doing is they will tell we are sending the biopsy to a big lab and we are going to see what mutation has happened in a DNA. But nobody can change the DNA now because it is destined. We have got from parents. We cannot change it. But what we can change is the genetics of the microbes which are controlling, and that's what is coming. So we cannot change our fate, but we can change our destiny. We cannot change our DNA or genetics, but we can modulate those genetic expression by modulating the gut bacteria. That's a big success. I was sharing yesterday also. They say that the small bacteria is a big hope for curing cancer and all diseases. So now we are ending up with two choices. So if you get a disease, whether it is diabetes or cholesterol or uric acid or cancer or arthritis or autism, either lifelong take medication. Like somebody broke they got an injury in the leg. Lifelong they can keep on walking stick or crutches, and we ask how is the sugar level? Yeah, it is in normal, in control. What control? You are walking on crutches. You are not cured the diabetes. You are just walking. It's like how stupid you will feel. Somebody broke on the leg 10 years back and still is walking on the crutch. What will you say? Stupid, right? Because he is not cured, he's still walking on. And how are you doing? Oh, I'm walking with my crutches. The same way we are not curing diabetes or hypertension or any disease, we are just managing with pills. And I'm not against managing with pills because initially, even if anybody breaks a leg, they need initially the support. That is not a problem. But the craziness is you are continuing on that support, you don't manage but cure. So now they found that food is more effective than supplements, and you look at these are all from these powerful institutes. They have shown how to correct somebody is undergoing treatment. They have given prebiotics, but they are saying that food is more important than any other medication. That is why in Tamil we say unave marundu. It is a food that is the medicine. And who is the doctor? Amma. Mother is the doctor in a family. And what is this? Her pharmacy store? Anjarapatti, they say. In the traditional Indian kitchen, they will have a box with five partitions. They will have five major ingredients. Anybody in the family falls sick, immediately they open the Anjarapatti and they will make a decoction. That is our pharmacy store. So, but now mothers have no doctoral knowledge. Mothers don't have a pharmacy store. They closed it. So everything is closed in the house. Now we have to go outside. So now finally they're talking about fecal transplantation. So yesterday I told in the meeting that if somebody has a bad kidney, they will take from a healthy donor a good kidney and the person can survive. If somebody has a bad liver, liver transplantation can be given. Now, you know what transplantation they are giving? Fecal transplantation. Somebody's stool they are giving to the patient in the pill form or through oral decoction. And don't think I'm just making fun, it is real, you can see that they are saying. So they mix with in mixie somebody's stool, and based on the choice, you want vanilla flavor or strawberry flavor, they will give it. I'm not joking. So, if there are nurses here, especially in gastro division, you'll know, in Chennai, many hospitals are doing that, and papers have been published, they're very effective. I get letters from Indian parents from US, sir, I heard that for autistic behavior, they are giving fecal transplantation. So shall I give to my child? I said, do you know what it is? They're thinking something, they're cutting open the intestine and putting something. But I say, that is in Tamil we say, if somebody doesn't have good brain, what they will say? Go and eat somebody's dash. So that is the stage. So if you are not eating good food, if you are eating junk food, meaning waste food, then what will be your medicine? This only. So now fecal transplantation and fecal medicine is the only choice. So if you eat food, then that food itself will become medicine. If you eat white rice, it is a not food. What is it? It's a waste material from pharmaceutical companies. Because in 1920, Dr. Johnson did research and found for neurological disorders and keep the nervous system strong. He found that B complex vitamins on black rice and red rice are there. He got a Nobel Prize, and pharmaceutical companies immediately thought, how can we make a pill? They polished the rice and took the B complex from it, made their pills. And what they had is a waste product they threw outside. And people around that pharmaceutical company complained to the municipality that these guys are putting a waste product in the corner of the street, and rats and the cockroaches are there. So please ask them to throw the waste product outside the city. So they employed some people to throw the white rice, white sugar, and refined oil, because from this all the polyphenols have been taken by the pharmaceutical companies to make supplements. So all these products they were about to throw. So some guy thought, why not sell it for a cheaper price? So brown rice and black rice and red rice will cost $5 or $7, and this was like 10 cents, right? So immediately people started buying the waste product. Now karma is coming back. So whatever is thrown becomes food for us. Now when we eat these white rice, white sugar, and refined oils, understand you are eating malam, meaning waste product. Then you will also get the same treatment, which will be malam only. Sorry, I'm very harsh, but that is a reality I have to tell. So now, how did this fecal transplantation become very popular? Again, I have to rush up. I think how many minutes more? 5 minutes I have to finish. Okay, so now they found that this is a doctor, I don't know whether it is in Stanford or some major university. He was doing an experiment. He didn't know why his generation were all obese, whereas his parents and grandparents, everyone were lean. So he did an experiment where he took his experimental laboratory mice. They were all the same food, not different food, not like us. All of the rats were having same food, but he put the feces into the gave the fecal transplantation to the mice. They all became obese. The same food, but the bacteria was different. Immediately they become obese. So he wanted to see whether they were becoming obese because he was giving stool fecal, but no. From a lean person, when he gave, it was only lean. So then he switched over. Then from this obese one, he gave from the lean person stool, this all suddenly became lean. So it is not changing the diet, it is changing the bacteria. This became a major publication in a journal called Science, and from there, the fecal transplantation became very, very popular. Now I will speed up. So now how do we know whether I have some good bacteria or bad bacteria? So my wife asked me, we are eating good food, but how do I know we are having good bacteria? So that's how she was instrumental to start this company, Amma Genomics in Chennai. And we started with COVID testing, but later on we started doing the gut microbiome test. And we found we are able to detect the good and bad bacteria. So anybody interested in testing in Chennai, they used to come. And then over years, within 2-3 years, now we have globally requests from all over the world, and we send the kits to people, home collection kits, They can take a small mustard-sized stool and send into the tubes in room temperature. We are able to detect. And people who want to detect whether they have leaky gut, high inflammation, we have a prick, finger prick like diabetes testing. You can do and send it to our lab. That's how we have been helping a lot of people. And next slide. So there are several cases like yesterday showed cancer, and I know some people are there from yesterday's talk, so I wanted to make all new slides. So today's data has shown like many couples who have sterility, infertility problem, they go to IVF clinic, they did 2, 3, or 4 times IVF, and every time it failed, and they are not understanding why, because they have good sperms, the ladies' AMH level is all good, but they don't know why. They come to our lab, we test them, and we say, look, your vaginal bacteria is so bad, 93% is bad bacteria. How will it allow a fetus to grow? It will constantly cause abortion. So even if they do IVF, it causes abortion. But when we take the test and change their diet, gut and everything, it is amazing that they get. And we check also after they become, when they share the good news, we tell, can you please take the retest? And when they retest, we see that immediately from 7 to 10 fold the good bacteria increases, and that's why the pregnancy is successful. Same thing with the semen also. Men who got even azoospermia, 1% only will have good bacteria, 99% are bad bacteria. So these bad bacteria will eat up all the semen. So how will they have good semen? But when we give the treatment and the follow-up test, they get success. So it's all, any disease is based on this bacteria, because bacteria number is more than our human cells. So again, with the cancer patients also, people who did not respond to chemo and given hope by doctors, when they come to our lab, we test them, we see severe bad bacteria, but the moment they follow our traditional medicines and the lifestyle, they change, and we see that MRI scan is showing that there is no trace of cancer. So again, how different are our tests from other labs? Other labs are not following what is given by Harvard and Stanford or MIT. They are just going for the corporate pharmaceutical test given. And most of these tests are all normal, but people suffer. But we look into really what our tradition says and the modern updated research shows. So that is how we are, we are different. And we also test for polyphenols level in semen, blood, the saliva, everywhere, any body fluid we wanted to check based on their health needs and disease, we do that. And this is an outline of how process flow is there. We give all the information to the patient, and then give the treatment as well. So I think I have to speed up because of no time. That is, the inflammation is like IL-6 and IL-10. IL-6 is an inflammation marker. So if there is heat generated, then the body shows inflammation. In olden days, our mothers will ask to take oil bath. So oil will cool our body, which is inflammation will be lower. So again, summer we eat cold foods. In winter we eat hot foods. Now every day only idli dosa or only chapati. So we don't have any control of changing our inflammation in the body, and that is why stress adds to it. And night also we don't eat any probiotics. Nobody in the traditional family will take after sunset no yogurt or buttermilk, because modern science also says that it will completely cause dysbiosis if you. So again, look at our traditional knowledge was correct. But I know most of the children here, they say, what is wrong in me eating yogurt in the night? But they don't understand that traditionally we were not allowed, and now when we take, it actually causes dysbiosis. So this is even my own test report. I had worked at late hours for helping the patient. My wife was upset. She told the staff, tomorrow get SARS blood and let's check this inflammation. I was shocked. It was very, very high. Usually the value should be around 50s or maximum 100. Look, I got like around 2000 units. And my BB is brain creatine kinase. They also was very high. But 3 days I did oil massage with high polyphenol thing. It all went down so quickly. Even I was surprised. And my body pain, everything vanished in 2 days. This is again the Siddha and Ayurveda tradition where not like physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is just rubbing with the hands, which is also effective. But more effective is the traditional way of oil massage. So again, we treat autistic children with 5 levels. I think quickly can move. We also test for high polyphenols, which food have higher polyphenols. So here in this tradition and in this culture now, the children are growing here, so everybody cannot eat or get these traditional foods. But we are saying that you can get buckwheat, amaranth, and quinoa. These my wife used to everyday cook, and now Jyoti and many of the people are following Unified. They have access. I mean, they have a practice on using these and have a healthy family. Next slide. Again, leaves. It's not like only spinach. If anybody asks children what green vegetable, they will only answer spinach. But there are several green available even in this country which you can use. Next slide. So Muthu was telling that we also had when our son Pranav was in Fairfield, Iowa. Every Friday he wanted to go out and eat. Instead, my wife said, "Let's have a pizza made at home." So we made everything with a healthy ingredient. So instead of eating junk, but we cannot resist the children to eat something bad. So instead we gave a healthy alternative. So we made healthy pizza, healthy tacos, everything at home. So Muthu said we call that food for fun. So let's invite friends. I think this is the information we are giving you. You also can have instead of potluck regular junky foods, you can have like a food satsang where you prepare healthy foods, tasty, so that the younger generation will be motivated to follow them. So this is the last 4 slides. So I know I cannot cover all the topics in 1 hour. So I know you have a lot of questions, but we offer several volunteers offer these gut courses. You can contact and get this. All the information that you want that I have spoken in practically we offer. Next slide. And this is also for infertility. Next slide. General health, any disease, diabetes, cancer, all diseases, what are the 2 months courses we give online? Next slide. Again, for autism and the ADHD and psychiatry issues we offer. And this is our lab address. I will now give the last slide. Again, these are all the costs in US. So if you want to take this, we can help. These are all our food certifications. So thank you for patiently listening. This is my WhatsApp. Is there any time for questions or no? Yeah. How many minutes you have? 5 minutes. I can quickly answer some questions.
Why yogurt at night causes this bio?
Yeah. So what I think in a German lab they found that the bacteria in the daytime and in the evening changes for every individual. So they are saying that we have to be in tune with those bacteria. So lactobacillus and all is not conducive to be taken in the night time. So they themselves say that if you want to have a healthy microbiome, you should eat according to the day, sunlight and the night, and according to the seasons. That is what our traditional people did. So I never had a chance to eat. I love buttermilk and yogurt, but never my mother and grandma allowed me to eat in the night. So that could be because of gut microbiome, because they are all probiotics, right? So that is the reason why they forbid to not to have in the night time. Plus it increases cold. So cold reason also, meaning cold and fever is also connected to our gut. So if you are messing up with the gut bacteria in the night, then naturally your immunity goes down. So you are prone to get fever and cold.
How often do you do castor?
And it depends upon the person's condition, like how our cars we change, how often they'll say at least 5,000 miles if you reach it is ready to change oil. The same way we know that if you're eating too much of junk, then I should say every month. But if you are more careful with your diet, then maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months, based on your condition.
How exercise improves our gut bacteria?
Oh, there are a lot of information now coming. They are saying that when we exercise, there is an circulation of our lymph and also the blood circulation. So it is changing the gut bacteria. I was more surprised that I think in another university they did like a rubbing exercise. So they did clockwise rubbing and anti-clockwise direction. And I cannot believe, actually, they did, I don't know that they did it on human beings or mice, I don't know. And they found that clockwise increases bifidobacteria, anti-clockwise direction, it increases lactobacillus in the gut. So that is why in traditional India, after delivery, women were given body massage. I arranged for my wife also body massage after delivery because they cannot exercise. So when you can't exercise, then massage is the best thing. So definitely you have to increase Agni. So it is out of the 5 elements, this is the Agni. Physical exercise increases metabolism. So when metabolism is increased, then it has a connection with the gut microbiome because gut is also controlling our metabolism. So that is a connection with physical exercise and gut microbiome.
Why do lifestyles affect the amount of bacteria in your gut?
Yeah, so lifestyle is like the modern science is now started rigorous research studies on what is the connection between sleep and gut microbiome. That is your lifestyle. Why sleeping late affects, but they are getting clues that because they also have they call it the circadian rhythms. They have like plants, they flower in certain time period. In certain periods, they shed their leaves. So they have their own cycle. So accordingly, our gut bacteria also have their own cycle. So if certain bacteria grow in the night time and certain bacteria grow in the daytime. So if you are eating in the nighttime food, then you are feeding this wrong bacteria. So food and lifestyle has a correlation. Same with sleep also.
Thank you, everyone. It's a great session. Thanks to Dr. Pradeep.
Like this formalities, but following the Tamil tradition or Indian tradition, I would accept this on. Thank you.
Yeah, the reason I took to focus only one session, and I think he has a version of the information actually, and we can call him one more time to the session maybe after 6 months or some other time. Really, Nikita.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep, for coming here and then giving us the treasure of the knowledge, right? Even though like we know like all the information that you have shared as a paramedic Vaidhyam in our from back home, but backing up with the data is the most important thing, and then that you have given us a lot of data. So that so the question whenever like we communicate all these small particles to our kids, the first thing they ask is like, how do we believe it, right? So and then you have given us a lot of data. So hopefully you can use your slide to show to give us that knowledge. And again, like this one session is not enough. And certainly, like as Panya mentioned, maybe like in your next future visits, like we wanted to have you and then like give us open to like many more people, right? Like with the short time, like we could arrange only this much session, but like in future, certainly like we will plan and then we will do it. And thank you everyone for coming here, and hope you have like 1 or 2 points to take home and then practice it in your daily life, right? So thanks to each and everyone for coming and then honoring. We have one more information. Laboy is going to share that. Thank you.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். முதல்ல உங்க முழு பேர் நான் சொல்லணும். பிரதீப் Chhallayil. எல்லாரும் கொஞ்சம் தயவுசெய்து அதை புரிஞ்சுக்கணுன்றதுக்காக ஏன்னா அது முக்கியம். நீங்க அஞ்சரை பெட்டி வாழைத்தண்டு இதெல்லாம் சொல்லி எங்களை பழைய காலத்துக்கு கூட்டு போயிட்டீங்க. அதுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய நன்றி, பெரிய பாராட்டு. டாக்டர் சொல்லும்பொழுது 4 விஷயங்கள் சொன்னாரு. அதுல முக்கியமான ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸை வந்து நாம குறைக்கணும்னாரு. அந்த ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸை குறைக்கிறதுக்கு தமிழ்ச்சங்கம் நிறைய நிகழ்ச்சிகள் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அதுல வந்து நம்மளுடைய இலக்கிய குழுவுடைய வாசகர் ஓட்டம் வந்து இலக்கியத்தை படிப்போம், நம்மளுடைய ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸை குறைப்போம். அடுத்த வாசகரோட்ட நிகழ்வு வந்து செப்டம்பர் 8ஆம் தேதி புளூபர்ட் பார்க்ல அந்த பஸ்மன் பவிலியன்ல நடக்கும்போது பல உலக கவிஞர்களுடைய கவிதைகளை படிக்க போறோம். அதனால எல்லாரும் தயவு செய்து வாங்க, நம்ம ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸை குறைப்போம். நன்றி.
Yeah. So thank you everyone. So just to continue this journey, you can use that whatever information the website writeawareness.com, and also there's a Telegram channel. A lot of people ask questions, so you can learn a lot. So please note this number and you can ping him to get added. Thank you.
Six o'clock in your meeting இருக்கு. அதனால please vacate this room and vacate the parking lot as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. Other meeting at 6 o'clock there.